Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time, you might remember, we got into some pretty mind-bending stuff from Yogananda's autobiography.
Right. The stories of saints with
Yeah.
abilities that, well, they really challenge your everyday assumptions.
Totally, like Nagendranath Paduri, the levitating saint, and Giri Bala apparently living without food.
Yeah, Swami Pranabananda, the one with two bodies, those examples, they definitely stick with you.
They absolutely do. But underneath all those, let's call them outward signs of power, there seems to be something else, something quieter.
A focus on inner stillness, perhaps.
Exactly, inner stillness. And in today's world, with everything demanding our attention, just finding your breath, finding that inner silence, it feels almost revolutionary, doesn't it?
It really does. Which is why Kriya Yoga, in this context, is so fascinating.
Right, because we're not really talking about it today as just like a set of techniques to gain abilities.
No, not primarily. We're looking at it through Yogananda's experience, especially with his guru, Sri Yukteswar, and the lineage back to Lahiri Mahasaya and Babaji, as a path to profound inner peace.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. To explore how Kriya Yoga, specifically its emphasis on stillness, might offer us something practical, a way to find quiet in all the noise, based on these accounts.
I think that's a great way to frame it, looking at this ancient wisdom for modern relevance.
So let's start with that lineage you mentioned, Lahiri Mahasaya. Yogananda said just his picture had a surpassing influence. That's pretty significant.
It really is. And think about it, Yogananda's own Sanskrit tutor, Swami Kibalananda, was a direct disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya.
Ah, so there's a very real person-to-person connection there.
Definitely. And Lahiri Mahasaya is key because he wasn't, some hermit hidden away. He was a family man living in the world.
Right, a householder.
Which showed people, and it shows us today, that this path, this deep inner realization, it's not just for monks or ascetics. It's accessible right here.
That's a powerful message. And then comes Sri Yukteswar, Yogananda's own guru. He called him a living manifestation of God. The impact must have been immense.
Absolutely formative. Sri Yukteswar was the one who really prepared Yogananda for his work in the West. Disciplined, yes, but also incredibly perceptive.
Perceptive, like that story where he knew Yogananda wasn't mentally present.
Exactly. He said, "You are not here." Even though Yogananda was sitting right in front of him, it shows his focus wasn't just on the physical. It was on that inner state, that stillness.
Wow. And behind Sri Yukteswar, there's Babaji, the guru's guru, almost legendary.
Described as timeless, the one who initiated Lahiri Mahasaya into Kriya Yoga up near Ranakhet.
And Babaji apparently told Yogananda directly to take Kriya Yoga to the West. So it's this deliberate unfolding.
An unbroken chain of wisdom, you
Yeah.
could say, all pointing towards inner realization, towards finding that stillness within.
Okay, so Kriya Yoga itself. The book mentions directing energy around the spine, relating it to astral signs, but we're saying the core for our discussion is really about cultivating stillness.
That seems to be the emphasis, yes. The techniques are there, and they're obviously important within the tradition, but the goal highlighted again and again is that quieting of the mind, moving beyond the constant mental, chatter.
Like Sri Yukteswar stressed, right, with those quotes, the textbook is the Bhagavad Gita, the commentary is your own life.
Yes. And the best grammar is derived from the lips of God. It's about direct experience, not just theories.
Your own inner realization being the actual proof, the actual learning.
Precisely. It's experiential, not just intellectual accumulation.
And that ties back to the miracles too, doesn't it? The idea that they come from a will harmoniously attuned to the creative cosmic dreamer.
Suggesting it's not about forcing things, but about alignment. Deep inner alignment born from stillness and connection.
Which feels incredibly needed today. We're just swimming in distraction, information overload, constant pings and notifications.
That's the modern condition, isn't it? Always being pulled outward.
Yeah.
Restless, scattered.
So this ancient focus on stillness, it's like an antidote.
It offers a powerful counterbalance, certainly. A way to find refuge within the storm rather than needing the storm to stop.
I love that story about Yogananda wanting solitude in the Himalayas.
Oh, yes. And the yogi tells him,
Are you able to have a little room where you can close the door and be alone? And when Yogananda says yes,
that is your cave. That is your sacred mountain. Brings it right back home. The sacred space is internal.
It's not about escaping to somewhere, but finding it within you, wherever you are.
Exactly. It democratizes the whole idea of finding peace.
And Sri Yukteswar even listed calmness in his public talks, alongside Kriya Yoga itself, self-respect, diet, exercise.
He saw it as foundational, not just a nice side effect, but essential for a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
The bedrock for everything else.
There's also that image, the oceanic mind, where even whales of inspiration make hardly a ripple.
Such a beautiful metaphor for profound mental stillness, isn't it? Compared to the usual commotion of our thoughts.
It really is. Okay, so how do we begin to cultivate that? The book hints at the breath, pranayama.
The breath is key. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras define yoga as calming the fluctuations of the mind stuff, and breath regulation, pranayama, is a primary tool for that.
It's the anchor, the tangible thing you can always come back to.
It's the bridge between the body and the mind. By consciously working with the breath, you directly influence your mental state. You guide yourself towards calm.
Right. So maybe we could try that just for a couple minutes. Offer a simple practice right now.
I think that's a wonderful idea, a chance to experience this directly, even briefly.
Okay, so if you're listening and you're somewhere you can do this safely, just find a comfortable position, sitting, lying down, whatever works.
Let yourself settle. Maybe close your eyes if that feels right. Release any obvious tension, shoulders, jaw.
And just start by noticing your breath. Don't change it yet. Just feel it. The air coming in, the air going out.
The natural rhythm. Feel the subtle movements in your body.
Okay. Now let's try a very gentle, even breath. We'll inhale slowly through the nose. Count of 4. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now hold gently. 1, 2, 3.
And exhale slowly through the nose. Count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's continue that pattern. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Just follow the count gently in your mind.
Focus on the feeling of the breath. Each inhale, each exhale, like an anchor to this moment.
Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's do one more full round together. Inhale, hold, exhale.
And now, just let go of the counting. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Just sit or lie quietly for a moment.
Notice how you feel. Is there any sense of quiet? Any shift, even a small one?
Just rest in that awareness for another breath or two.
Okay. And whenever you're ready, you can gently bring your awareness back. Maybe wiggle your fingers or toes.
How did that feel? Even just a couple of minutes.
It connects back, doesn't it, to this whole idea that stillness isn't some far-off mystical state necessarily. It can start right here with the breath.
Those brief moments, they can really start to accumulate, building resilience, clarity, reducing that background hum of stress.
Sri Yukteswar called the peace after deep meditation vivid beyond forgetting. Suggests it's really impactful.
It truly can be. Cultivating that inner silence, even in small ways, it changes your relationship with yourself and the world around you.
So, wrapping up our deep dive for today, Kriya Yoga, seen through this lens, it's really offering a path towards stillness, a path that feels incredibly relevant.
It's more than just techniques. It's an orientation towards inner quietude and reclaiming the breath, making space for silence. These seem like powerful first steps anyone can explore.
Absolutely. We've really just skimmed the surface today, drawing on these specific accounts. There's so much more depth there, of course.
Always more to explore if you feel drawn to it.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for everyone listening. What if you consciously carved out just a few minutes each day for intentional stillness, like finding your own inner cave, even amidst the busyness? How might that begin to shift things for you? What could unfold from that quiet space?
It's worth considering. Maybe reflect on that little breathing practice we did. If it resonated, perhaps look into meditation or stillness practices further.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.